Alright guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Urban Legend. 1998's Urban Legend. Lee, had you seen this one before?
I believe everyone saw this movie when it came out, I'm pretty sure. And I was one of those people. I was a part of everyone.
You know, it's an all-star cast of people that, like, certainly, like, if you watched TV at that time, you were like, oh, I know these people. Okay, this is a movie.
It's Dawson's Creek, man.
It is.
And everyone.
It's the Pacey himself.
Yeah, literally everyone's famous. You have a huge thing with like the cast of the movie and that mattering a lot to you.
Yes.
So I imagine this is your favorite thing in the world and you love this movie.
I won't say that I love this movie.
Cool.
I will say that it has a great cast that can definitely interest a lot of people, whether you like this, that, the other thing. Everyone from like Robert Englund to, as you said, Joshua Jackson. So like it does catch.
I think the favorite person in this movie for me is Brad Dourif.
Oh yes, and I believe he wasn't even in the opening credits.
Okay, yeah, he has. It's almost like a glorified cameo.
Sure.
But yes. No, I'm glad to hear you say that. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I had a weird reaction to this, where part of me was like, "This movie sucks." And then I'm like, "What's your things that you hate the most?" And I'm like, it's fine. The movie's fine. It's fine.
I liked it on my first watch, like in '98. I was like, oh yeah, this is what a movie is. But it's very much a 1998 movie now, where you're like, okay.
Well, and it's a post-Scream thing, which I think now, I don't know if that helps it or hurts it looking back on that.
I think that hurts a lot of things because I think studios rush out a lot of movies in that same vein.
Right.
This reminds me a lot more of like Cry Wolf, honestly.
Oh.
That kind of style where you're and almost like you're expecting something else to be happening, but it like it doesn't.
Right. Okay. So this is like it's not revolutionary like Scream, but it came so close after that it feels like wait where's your twist? Where's your thing?
Yeah.
It's like it's just a movie. It's just another movie. Yeah. No, I thought it was fine. I think it's nice to revisit like as a nostalgic thing and to see all these people, especially if you were around the first time. Or if you're like, hey, what did Scream inspire to come out shortly after? Not as a ripoff, but as like, this is how we make movies now, and like rushing in and like doing it right with such a cast, such star power, right?
Exactly. So if you're not familiar with Urban Legends, punch out now. If you've seen it, follow us over to spoilers.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, guys. So here we are for the spoilers of Urban Legend. I think this movie was not as good as my memories of this movie.
Damn, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, and
what did you remember? What are your like?
I remember Poodle in the microwave.
Yeah.
God damn fucking sick motherfucker!
I remember Tara Reid being chased in the what do you call that? The radio station thing, which is
it's
so
like
shitty.
An atrium or something. It's a weird thing.
The radio station thing is so annoying, which has like that wireless mic that works ever distance away from the thing.
Oh right, because she's still broadcasting.
Yeah, she's broadcasting the whole time. I was like, what are you people kidding me?
Please help me.
No, I'd forgotten a lot of this movie, but then certain things would happen, and they would cause me to have flashbacks, like weird fever dream things. For example, Tara Reid filleting a microphone.
Had yourself a little frat boy protein shake, did ya? Sasha, I've been feeling...
I was like, I remember this. This was a formative experience. But much of it, I was like, I don't remember this movie at all, and that I think is a testament to I kind of forgot and lumped it in with the other ones, quote unquote.
Well, because it's how do I phrase this? It's barely a movie.
Ouch.
You're
so hush.
It's a lot of just strung together things, and they were definitely playing up the fact that they had this cast here. They had these people here.
They knew it too.
Well, yeah.
They tipped the hat.
Well, because even
times.
you have your guy from Dawson's Creek. He gets in the car, his music's cranking. It's the Dawson's Creek theme. He turns it off.
I don't want to wait. He's like, not that shit again.
Yeah. Our killer's in that commercial. They say, the girl from that commercial. I'm like, okay, you're fucking saying your thing.
And Brenta's a girl in that Noxzema commercial.
Freddy Krueger's in the movie. You have a little Freddy Krueger doll in his office, and I'm like, So there's a lot of these nods to what you have. So you knew you had this cast of stars. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And they do it. They have a great cast of stars. You're like, okay, cool. Yeah. You got let's just list it off here. Oof. So you got Jared Leto. You're like, okay.
Hey, look, I'm just doing my job here, okay? What am I supposed to do?
That's a famous man. Michael Rosenbaum, he's Lex Luthor himself.
I was going to say, so perhaps less famous, but TV, big, very memorable face.
Zoe Duncan, Jack and Jane.
The call's coming from inside the house. Could it be an urban legend?
I don't know any of these things.
Another TV show
that
he was
I watched
on.
Smallville, but
Tara Reid, you've already mentioned.
What are you trying to say, Natalie?
my girl.
We got Joshua Jackson, as we said, Mr. Pacey here.
You don't have to act like such a bitch.
Robert Englund's in there.
Something I can help you with.
Brad Dourif, who was your boy.
Again,
Chucky.
Favorite guy. His little stupid cameo, just someone in the back seat can't get it out. I'm like, oh, what a great scene.
Yeah.
Someone's in the back seat!
It's great.
Thing.
Rebecca Gayheart.
Yeah.
Your favorite from Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, I think she may be like, she may have like stolen the show. In this. There's one person that we haven't gotten to yet, who I'm gonna say, Alicia Witt.
Start the car right now.
Okay, that hurt.
Yes.
Is the main character.
Main character.
In my head, when I see her, I go, oh, I like her. She's good. I thought she was awful in this movie.
It's like someone out there is taking all these stories and making them reality.
For some reason. It may just be that she was outshone by all the
What
other.
do you know her
star
from?
cast.
Like, what is her?
I don't know.
I know her from just the show Sybil, and that's the only thing I can think of her from. But
When I
like,
see
she has
her-
a face where I'm like, I know you, but where do I know you from?
She has one of those magical, like star faces. She has a huge list of credits on IMDb.
Sure.
I think I've seen her in
A
various
working
places.
actress?
I don't know, but when I see her, I go, oh, her. She's, yeah, good. I like her. And I thought she was really bad. Rebecca Gayheart, I have like no respect for whatsoever, and especially with the way this ends, I thought she like saved it and stole the ending.
I'm sorry, but I can't understand a thing you're saying, doll.
And I was like, oh, this is actually great. She reminded me of Fairuza Balk in The Craft.
It isn't real. Then why are you still bleeding?
Where she's like going crazy and wilding out, and I was like, oh, this was a nice little spike of enjoyment right before the end when things were like tumbling downhill like very rapidly. Okay, cool.
I feel like you have this like ensemble cast of like a lot of people that are in it for very little amount of time, like, and that's kind of how it goes here. And I thought her character though is not a super main character.
Exactly.
But she's totally telegraphed as your bad guy.
Come on.
You're scared, Natalie.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
She's huge on the back of the box. She's huge on the cover. Okay. Like it was like, oh, I wonder if she plays a big part.
Did you think the movie telegraphed anything? Because I did not.
Once it started to, like once it was down to your survivors, I think you're like it kind of has to be you because there's not enough time for this person to like catch you, get here, and do this thing.
And it's either actually Jared, Leto. Why am I doing
I think
this
he
now?
says Leto, but I always say Leto.
What's going on with those people over there? Leto.
Okay, because I
don't care what his name actually is.
I used to say it wrong, and then I'm like, wait, are you saying it wrong too, or am I saying it right again? Yeah. No, Jared Leto is like he's the one that they're pointing to. Oh, it must be him.
Like I said, he's all yours.
And I'm like, it can't actually be him though. And in my head, I was like, I'm fuzzy. I forget who it is, but I know it's not him. And there's a part where it comes in clapping.
Very well done.
And I'm like, is that what like what my brain did? Where like, oh, he's in on it somehow, but it was just a trick. It was not.
Yeah, it's a trick,
right? And yes, the movie. This is your misdirection of like, it's not Jared Leto. It's actually Rebecca Gayheart.
Obvious, brilliant writing from the man who made Valentine.
You both received threatening notes signed JM, and after I tell you I'm looking for Jason Marquette, you don't think to mention it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It feels like Valentine.
It does.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, it's kind of a movie. Like,
Yeah.
Before I forget, Danielle Harris is in this. She plays the roommate, the gothic girl in this.
She's someone, right? I don't know her.
She's from Friday the 13th. She plays a little girl. She's in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
We're supposed to wear them at all times, and she's getting us up at the butt crack of dawn to tidy up the garage.
God. Nicole, I'm gonna have to call you back.
She was in, what's the other one? I can't think of the other one that's in my head.
Tosh, do you mind if I use what?
But no, she's a relatively famous girl. She's been a mainstay in a lot of horror movies, like throughout her career because since she was a little girl, she has been a horror girl.
That makes a lot more sense then in that role and stuff. That little scene where Alicia Witt walks in on her having sex.
sorry.
I was like, I remember that too. That was formative when I was a young boy. Oh no, because I like the Suicide Girl aesthetic and all that stuff. Yeah. So I was like, she's cool, and yeah, and very dead.
I read a thing that said she was super excited to take this role because her character smokes. So she's like, oh, I never got to smoke on, because she was a smoker. Ah. She's like, oh, it's so nice to be able to smoke on set. I never get to smoke on set.
They're always like, stop smoking.
But she didn't take into account how many takes things happen, and she had to smoke so much that she quit smoking because of this movie.
The old thing where it's like, you're gonna smoke the whole pack, you little bastard. And that, so like this movie did that to her.
Yes.
That's amazing. Nice.
And that's great.
I wish my daddy'd had the parenting skills to do this for me, I tell you what.
Janitor 2, is he in something?
The janitor is Death from Supernatural.
I ain't gonna bite you.
So he's like relatively famous. And he's like that kind of character actor where like you've seen him play a creepy guy in a lot of things.
Yeah, the like...
Oh, The Last Boy Scout. That's the other movie she was in.
I brought you this. I figured you might need
Where the hell did you get that from?
Stole it from my dad's closet. You know he'd kill me if he found out.
You'll probably kill yourself first.
Danielle Harris.
Okay.
She plays the daughter.
Oh, wow. Yeah, something about her. I was like, you look... Yeah, and like a grown-up version of someone that was in stuff totally makes sense. No, the like Rent-A-Cop lady too. She had like a familiar look.
Oh, yes. Oh, what is she from?
So you never actually saw anyone there?
Well, I sensed that there was someone...
Honey, did you see anyone in the room?
No.
Oh, I forget her name.
And her whole arc of like, I watch blaxploitation films and I like say the words along with it and go, I'm gonna get you sucker. And I'm like,
with her actual gun.
Yeah, you gotta have fun.
This is the end of your rotten life, you motherfucking drug pusher.
Okay, so like let's just jump into my first like issue with the movie.
Yeah.
So like while watching the movie, the thing that jumps out at me as like my first like, wait, what the fuck, is like they're talking about that opening scene. So there's a girl who was in a car. Brad Dourif couldn't warn her in time because he has like a stutter.
Credit card company's on the phone.
Is there a problem?
And
it's a stammer, and I have a stammer, so I was like, stammers unite. Yeah.
So like, that girl dies, axe takes off her head, they find her body, they're talking about her on the news.
The decapitated body of 20-year-old Pendleton student Michelle Mancini was found in her car. Police suspect her assailant was probably hiding in the back seat.
And they're talking about how like they've arrested Brad Dourif's character, like she was last seen at this gas station, And I was like, who saw her at that gas station? There was no one at the gas station. He was the only one at the gas station, and he's not going to say I killed her.
The search continues for Michael McDonald, the proprietor of this gas station where she was last seen. Police are asking anyone with any information on his whereabouts.
He's going to say, I saw a guy in the back of her car. Why don't you believe me?
He's been trying to tell them, but it's been,
he still hasn't got it out.
It's been 3 days, and he's still trying to get out the first sentence, yes.
Let me go!
Yeah.
No, that is our like cold open with a girl who's not in the movie who dies, and that kicks it off, and it's Scream. We're just doing Scream again.
She looks super familiar too, where I was like, what do I know her from? And I don't know.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, but then I see the look in your eyes.
I forget if I looked her up. She is something, but since she was just the opener, I didn't bother or anything. Yeah.
But it comes back in that she went to school with our characters, this, that, and the other thing. It all comes back around with like, oh, we were playing as you do, a game like we were in a gang initiation, and if someone high beams us, we act like we're gonna kill him.
I wanted to tell her to stop, but I just sat there.
And accidentally kill, this girl's boyfriend.
So, like, take what you just said and put it next to, it was high school, okay, I'm over it, like, forget it now, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It was in high school, Paul, it's over.
Jared Leto even says, like, we're not talking about running a stop sign here, right? We're talking about something serious. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's
yeah.
Like, yeah, you literally sat by, I guess it's, it's like harder, while your crazy friend, who's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reckless endangerment? We're not exactly talking about running a stop sign here, are we, Natalie?
I really don't want to talk about it.
She's dead now.
She deserved it.
I love that and she dies via axe, to the neck, taking off her head while speeding in a car.
Yeah.
And the car seems to stop on a dime once her head is like removed. And even just the idea of someone full on leaning up and swinging an axe in a car That's pretty intense.
There's even a dissolve after the axe breaks the window.
Mm-hmm.
Like, several parts of this movie feels like they were like cobbling it together in a weird kind of way.
Yeah.
But that's just like personal pet peeves. I could do that for any movie, I feel like. But this movie, there were certain things where I'm like, what is this scene? What are you doing? You're just cutting, you're just dubbing in dialogue and having them running, and what are you happening?
I think a lot of parts of this felt so fake and out of place that my mind almost mixed them with. Have you seen the sequel to this?
No.
So there's Urban Legends Final Cut.
Urban Legends Final Cut
Is the sequel, and the sequel takes place in a film school.
Urban Legends Scene 6, Take 2.
To film them.
The movie is about a serial killer whose murders are all based on urban legends.
That's pretty cool.
And it's running parallel to while they're filming a horror movie. And I was like, oh yeah, when's that part start? Okay, this is fake though, right? They're filming a movie now?
Making a movie,
oh wait,
right?
This is real? Oh, that's the other movie? Ah, shit.
Would you drink some then?
You can't give that much beer to a dog. This is a film within a film. This is what's happening now, right? No, it was all real.
They're gonna pierce his nose. He's a dog. He can't be fashionable or whatever he says.
Can't be hip.
Parker said he's going to pierce Hootie's nose.
Hootie's a dog.
Yeah, there's no reason he can't be hip.
Yeah, can't be hip.
And I'm like, I don't know what hip is, but I know the word hip is not. Oh.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of that. Like, think of the bad acting during the pop rock scene.
He's gonna explode!
I understand it's supposed to be a person acting inside of a movie acting, but all that, I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Yeah.
So it's like, come on. What is the risk here? You think the teacher is going to be like, oh, here, take this thing that's going to kill you.
Thank you for your help.
Brilliant.
Although I have seen a funny video where
a teacher
swings a hammer and it hits a kid in the nuts because he flinches. Yeah, or the bowling ball and the rope thing.
Yeah, so I was gonna say science teachers have broken so many noses.
Yeah.
So don't even appeal to authority here.
2, 1, 0.
No, I actually forgot if that's how and where everybody died. So I was like, oh, maybe someone switched the thing with something else already. But they kind of show him tearing open the packet and cracking open the cans.
Well, not that people can't inject things into things, but even the death that finally plays off the Pop Rocks and soda thing, it's Pop Rocks and Drano. I'm like, that's the only one. What?
No,
this is not the thing.
Not an urban legend.
That's just poison. You've killed him.
That's just killing a man with poison.
You bound his hands behind a toilet and then force-fed him poison.
There's a few things like that, and I felt like maybe I was being dumb or something, where I'm like, is there an urban legend about this? About being chased through your radio station and killed with an axe? Is that a tale people tell each other a lot? What's happening? And
well, I guess it could switch to be one because and they all listened on the radio as she died, thinking it was part of the Halloween. I could see that being a thing, honestly.
Okay.
Oh, please!
She's good. I got chills.
But I won't say that that's one I've heard before.
No, yeah. Whereas a lot of them are very common. Honestly, Pacey's Real Death, where it's you're out there, hello, Josh, where is he? And then you hear the scraping on the car, and then the thing, or whatever. I wasn't aware that the legend involves a rope being tied to your own car or something, or if that was just flavor for this movie.
No, that was an add-on to this whole bit. Which I also am like, how did she do that?
Oh, no. So
is he Hercules strong?
So this is not even just a matter of oh, it's Rebecca Gayheart, done. Jared Leto could have done all that stuff. We don't care. No,
I don't even think he could. I think the two of them might have had trouble because you had to surprise him, which let you overpower him because I don't think she could physically overpower him.
Yeah.
So we'll assume that the surprise was enough to overpower him, but she then had to carry his body to the car without being seen, and then hoist him up without being seen.
That was my point, is that once you find out the ending, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. She couldn't have done any of that stuff.
It also all relied that he drove the car there.
It's a slight process.
It's all the stuff that you couldn't have planned out.
So, there's a bunch of convenience just
for sure.
The whole thing, obviously, but Yes, even like I like when the twist happens and you kind of at least have a plausible thing.
Yeah.
Not that you could have guessed it, but that it still makes sense. But this was very like ridiculous like that, where it's like, because like there's a part at the end, for example, when Alicia Witt's being led through like a house of horrors. To meet her demise, and every dead body from the whole movie is there. Propped up in like closets, waiting to fall in on her and stuff, all this crazy stuff. So I'm just picturing like Rebecca Gayheart just grabbing every corpse and hauling it around campus and no one noticing.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, okay.
But just think of how, like, let's think about that moment before the haunted house bit there, where like there's the three of them, they get split up, she runs out, you know, like, and all of a sudden the car's behind her, and that's her, where she had to run, find a car to chase her, and then get, like, you know, back to the house before her.
Is
like
this
what?
When she's in the car with
the janitor, yeah.
That's amazing too, because at that point in the movie, we're jumping around a lot, but at that point, you know, in the movie, the jig is up. Right?
Yeah.
You are killing people and they are getting away. And yet the janitor flashing his high beams still like triggers it. Like it's paranormal, like there's a magic element. No, you're just trying to kill this exact person.
It's him.
She's the one you like. You really want the revenge on. Why you need this excuse to like trigger it? It's so hilarious. Yes.
And the fact
because she
that
screams no, like don't flash your high beams. That will like cause this to happen. Like she's like you don't know she's hunting you, but someone is. hunting you. And then by the end of it, the audience knows. What is her name? Rebecca Gayhart's character. I can't say the word Rebecca.
Sasha.
Sasha.
Oh wait, or Sasha Tara Reid's character.
That's Tara Reid's character. The point is, Gayheart is like chasing her to kill her, and we know that the whole time.
Gotcha.
So anything where she could have possibly gotten away is ridiculous.
No, and a lot of things are ridiculous, even from basic script things, where like the costume is the like look deep into the parka.
Vince, is that you?
Look deep into the parka.
Like it is like it is a complete winter coat because the movie was written to be taking place at winter time.
Okay.
And then through timing and schedules and stuff, it did not get filmed in winter time.
True. No snow.
And they didn't want to spend the money on all this fake snow for every exterior shot and get all the extras to wear coats in the middle of what might be the summertime in Canada. So like I think it was Canada, Ontario. I think they filmed it there.
Smells like Canada.
But regardless, so like you could have just changed it to something quick, like how about we make it any mask? Can we paint a William Shatner mask purple? Sure. Like it could have been anything.
Or just like a Halloween mask with like a weird twisted smile.
Something.
Like Scream. No.
Make it
but it's this like endless void. But yeah, everyone has the same fucking coat.
And like having people have coats means there should be an appropriate reason why everyone has these coats.
Right.
And if it's not winter, there's no appropriate reason for coats.
It's weird to have a coat. And he's like, oh, you seem cold, you've been outside. And you're like, what?
Something to warm you up?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to buy that. It's at some point my brain was kind of like, oh, this is like the Northwest or maybe Canada, and it's just cold, but there's no snow. Like I don't know what's happening right now. What time of the year it is?
Just judging by everyone else's wearings, it never made sense. Because then the few times when it's like, oh well, the script said someone has to wear that outfit, so you think it's that person. Okay, the girl going to swim practice wearing a parka.
Right.
What?
And leaves the parka on until she's at the. That's a very small detail, but yes, the whole thing just.
But it's a small detail that's
like
I hate when moments feel like because it's in the script, and that's that.
Yeah, and it's not good enough to lead you through all this and just have you go, wow. You go like, that's animatronics. I can see the wires. The smoke machine. Like you just see everything on the ride. You're not like enjoying the ride. Yeah.
Because there's like a costume party thing happening.
Yeah, is that a Halloween party actually?
Like I was like, wait a minute, what is this supposed to be?
Right.
Because if you would have wanted to make it Halloween, you could have made it Halloween and everyone could have just been wearing costumes. But to make it a very specific winter coat is the strange thing.
Yeah.
Because it's in the closet of the teacher. It's in the janitor.
Got a coat right there.
The swim girl has it, and of course our killer has it.
As if it is a standard issue coat.
Potentially.
Where why are you so scared of it? Also, just from like a marketing perspective, you don't have an iconic killer now. You can't sell costumes.
No.
You're some douchebag in a coat.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
Another issue I had was when, like, she comes in, our main character says, like, there's been a murder. Pacey's dead. God, help me.
Girl, what's wrong with you? They killed him. Somebody killed him.
And, like, the school security guard lady's like, all right, let's investigate.
I don't see nothing. Are you sure this is it?
Goes alone, brings the lady that's saying it, doesn't call the cops. Now, regardless of what it is, exactly, you'd think it'd be like, let's at least bring a second security guard. And she might be the only security guard because we don't see any others in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And that's just, we're cheap, sorry. Like,
no, I was going to say, I could forgive that alone, and they do try to make it work.
I would forgive that in a low-budget movie, but if you have a movie where, like, you have, like, 17 names written across the top of your poster, I'm like, bitch, get a fucking extra.
They had to pay all those names.
I guess.
It sucked.
You don't mind me asking, what the hell are you on?
No, like, I like how they work into the script where the dean is like, don't call anyone, no parents, no one. And then later, Jared Leto's even like, I tried to call the cops, but the dean already called them and said,
I wrote that down as well. I was like, that's so ridiculous. If you could just call the police and say, hey, someone's going to call about murders, ignore that shit.
I already tried. Dean Adams beat me to it. They said he warned him to expect some prank calls tonight.
They're going to prank call you about a bank robbery. Ignore that shit. Let's rob that bank, Jim.
So in my headcanon, they like know the dean and they have a like relationship where they've already covered up crimes for him because
that would work for like the campus security maybe, but it shouldn't work for. And he did cover up a number of murders.
The local Podunk PD.
I guess.
The reason that I like it is because it stops the audience from asking, "Why don't you just call the cops? And you clearly call the cops by now. They have a phone. Run to a phone. Oh my God!" Right.
Well, then we have to call the police right away before it happens again.
I already tried.
We gotta take whatever we can get at a certain point.
It's also in a time period where like the cell phone wouldn't have been a thing. They could have explained it as like, oh, he cut the lines to the school, and it would have been just as good.
Oh yeah, anything. They do that at one point.
It's dead.
The phones are dead.
Well, yeah, everything died for a minute.
I told you the phones were dead.
There's a raging bitch when the roommate dies. The goth girl is getting taken away. Like, better check her pulse. She's looked like that for years.
I love that.
And I'm like, my God, she's just died.
Hey, better check her pulse. She's looked like that for years.
Great. Whether you think it was an actual suicide or a murder, those are both reasons you don't fuck around.
I love it. I love the callousness of that crazy bitch.
What a bitch.
Just they're like wheeling her out on like the gurney, and it's like. That's just how she looks in the morning, bitch.
I would have liked the EMT person to say something, honestly.
Like smack her.
Like, yeah, I feel like they're very respectful people about things. So like,
you have to be, right?
You're like, you're holding a dead body. Come on.
At least wait for us to be down the hall a little ways.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Did you like that the coming from inside the house was the I am?
Yeah, because he says
I'm
coming
here.
from inside the house. Yeah, no, that's scary, walking in and then having the I am, because she's like, what room are you in? BRB. And then it comes back, and he somehow got the text to blink, must have the marquee tags on or something, where it was like, yours, oh no, and grabs her and stuff. Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah, that was the whole thing too. I see what they were going for with that, but it is ridiculous and forced and stuff. Like, you have to draw the line somewhere. The movie does a decent job because she walks in on her, we see everything. Yeah. She goes, oh no. Then when she hesitates and leaves the light off and puts the headphones on, you're like, okay.
Sorry, not looking.
And that's every movie from like 95 to 2005 is like roommates with like Sony Walkman, just like, gotta play my thing, don't want to hear your sexins.
Don't want to hear all your sex over there, I can still smell it though.
Lewis?
Yeah, no, and that's putting in nose plugs, ear plugs, various plugs. No, it's that's a trope, but I feel like that's even like an urban legend. If that exact thing, something like that, where like the next day in the light of day, oh no, I thought it was that. Right?
The idea they say that like they say it's a suicide, and it's like, who wrote in her blood on the wall? Oh, probably just a prank before she died. What?
You know her, one last zinger. Yeah. I liked the dean.
Did you?
Speaking of that,
well, he's dead.
He's so dead. There's a scene where like the security guard comes up to him and he goes, "Whoa!" and she's like jumping. And he's like, "No," and his voice cracks like, "No."
Little jumpy?
No, not at all.
This weird little thing, like, okay, he's either a great actor or just cracked once, and they were like, save it, that's the take.
Was he who was in the trunk? I forgot who was in the trunk.
Robert Englund's in the
trunk, that's right.
The Dean gets killed. His death was even good, too. So this is, okay, this is probably the only, so like, Rebecca Gayhart's performance at the end, I thought was really switched on, and I really enjoyed it.
Playing with your pretty little head.
And a lot of the deaths are very visceral. Right?
Sure.
Which is not enough to make the movie good from being bad, but at least we have that, right? When she's shoving the tube down his throat and he's gagging on it. When the Dean's back of the leg gets cut. Even like Pacey being dragged up into the trees and the branches, like. I felt a lot of the deaths in a way that a slasher should do, right? It's like good, but it's not good enough to be like super noteworthy or like impressive on its own. But the Dean crawling and then just like take off the e-brake, the car just slowly starts to roll. I was like, oh shit.
It's definitely interesting, but I also wonder, because like the keys weren't in the ignition, that just means like his shit was so bad that if you don't have the e-brake on, it rolls immediately.
He's very frugal, you see.
I see.
Yeah. No, I just like yes, that is the Austin Powers steamroller scene. But it's also as he's trying to get away. But it's one better because he gets
dropped into those like anti-drive this way tire strip things.
Which seemed largely superficial for the wounds, but they are pretty deep. I don't know, he's old, so like he may have just died anyway, just crawling away. But it's very much.
Did they not penetrate through into the back?
Maybe.
I thought that he got crushed. The bumper pushed him straight through those, and like 3 blades went through his back.
Like into like the back of his, because his arms
from
get
his
it,
chest
I think, too.
Yeah. I thought, I could be mistaken.
The car also hits him and pushes him down and stuff, and he's fucking old as hell. So like he's
made of dust.
He could just died, like I'm saying.
He looked back, saw the car was coming, and died.
Yeah, but there's something about that like slow looming threat as he's half crawling away with his Achilles tendon cut. You could just feel. Like, oh, it's like a leg cramp, but it's so much worse, and there's concrete, and you're like, how can I crawl far enough this way? Oh Lord, no! Ah!
There was something about how the parka person like crawled out from under the car that looked lame. I was like, what are you doing?
Because that's supposed to be like the menacing scene of like the alien unfolding from under the ship, and you're like, oh no, it's on, shit's getting real. But it's just because the costume that they picked. I'm so glad you had those background details, because that makes it so much more ridiculous.
Oh, for sure.
I never even questioned why is it this, but it's such a lame, like no one's gonna be like, the famous urban legend man killer person, like
Oh, it's a cold Halloween. I'll certainly be going as the urban legend guy. When someone says, "Where's your costume?" I'll say, "I'm wearing it," and they'll say, "Fuck you."
No, you're not. You're wearing a coat and a like black stocking over your head, and you're like, "I'm robbing a bank later." Yes.
It's the weekend. He's probably shacked up in some motel with a girl, or a guy, a farm animal, whatever.
I was like, it's probably in some hotel with some girl, or guy, or a farm animal. Weren't you over 18? Not that kind of 18.
Yeah, I love her sassy, like reply. Not that kind of 18.
Farm animal, whatever. Weren't you ever 18?
Not that kind of 18.
In caps and a big question mark is like, how did they even end up in this car when they were going to see Pacey's body? Because that still irks me where I'm like, they don't call the cops and doing bullshit. I hate that so much.
So if this is an urban legend, at what point do we get to the twist?
It just seems so fictitious.
How'd they end up in the car? What does that mean?
They're in her car going to investigate the body on their own, like it's fucking Nancy Drew's Mystery Hour.
We gotta handle these things internally, Stefan. We can't get the authorities involved, because then no one will want to come to the school.
The school's very cool though. I do really enjoy the school. I like the old school feel of it. It's like a castle. Like it's like, oh, is this Hogwarts? Like, what is this? I love it.
With your mandrakes.
What'd you think about the button? So like our lead bad guy here gets like hurled off a cliff. They can't find the body, and then she's registered back in school.
This is how the story really goes.
That's the first button. Is she's not dead? She's in the back seat.
Oh yes.
She's double dipping on the same UL twice. She says my favorite UL, the kidney thieving thing. UL. That's not catching on. It's not making UL happen.
Oh, just my favorite UL. The kidney heist.
Oh no, that's my how did they get in the car? It wasn't about the Pacey murder. It was okay. So they just knocked her out the window. She's been killed. Then our security guard is on the floor bleeding.
Reese.
They walk away, and they're in their car driving away.
Do you think Reese will be okay?
And I'm like, wait a minute, did they not call an ambulance for her? Did the cops not have questions for you? Did the cops not take away the body? Shouldn't you have known the body wasn't there before you ever left?
This is hours later, and they just assumed all that shit was taken care of.
That's ridiculous.
They were just driving somewhere else.
But yeah, so she's not dead.
Okay,
she's in the backseat of the
You're
car.
absolutely right. That was an editing moment where I was like, wait, you're missing scenes. You don't have the connective tissue in between these organs. That's a reference. I'll just grab the first one that's in there.
I was always such a dope in anatomy. Well, who cares, right? First organ I see, I'm just gonna grab it.
The ending button is a whole new set of even worse kids are doing the same scene again. I heard that it was like this, and there's a story of a thing.
True. Happened right here at Ashton. I swear to God.
Right?
Yeah, and she's there, like all ready to do her thing.
Yeah, like in disguise.
That might be the same school.
Okay, listen up, guys.
It looked like the same school. Okay, so you didn't catch whether was it supposed to be the same school?
I'm pretty sure it's the same school because I think the urban legend they're talking about is the murders at that school.
I know. So I was like, wait. So now she's still there in disguise as herself or something? I don't know what's going on. Like she like changed her hair, I guess, and that's and
not even that much.
She's talking different. I was like, what is
I
this
didn't notice
scene
any difference at all, other than like what a girl might just do to her hair in the day. And talking to me didn't strike me as like, oh, she's doing a Canadian accent now. Like I was like, okay, she just went back to school because the school washed it all under the carpet, so they don't even know she's a murderer. Like what?
Right?
Were you even listening? It all keeps getting covered up. Think about it. Who would enroll at Murder You?
And like that's the ending you do if you're gonna go holy shit in the beginning. It was someone else or her again. Also, it's like we're caught in a time loop, right? If it was that type of thing, but no, it's just like, oh, it's so scary. What if someone got away and then they kept doing it? Yeah. Like she was trying to get revenge on specific people. They probably graduated by now. What's going on? Yeah, it's very.
Well, now
crazy.
she has to live her life out. She has to get a new boyfriend.
Now she's just in school. You're right. No, she needs to study too. She's opportunity.
Or this, potentially our main characters that survived couldn't finish the semester because they were distraught. They might have to come back the next semester. So she's back, ready to get them.
Not at all.
No, it does not make sense, and it's a weird. Because every movie has to end like, what if the problem wasn't solved though? What if the problem was still out there? And it's like, no, you need to have the two of them are now together, and he's a journalist. He has a camera like around his neck. He kisses her. She walks away, or like something like that. And then you're in the middle of like another urban legend, and then you think like maybe
you get bit by a gator in the sewer.
Exactly, and she flushes a tiny alligator down the thing. I don't know, some like time skip where you barely even see Rebecca Gayheart, but you think, oh no, she's still hunting them, and like they don't realize yet. Oh wait, help! No, it's over credits, right? Something like that.
Look, does anybody here believe me?
Not a chance, no.
I believe you.
Not like she's back in school. Why is that a threat to you, Alicia Witt, who's probably whatever, right? What are we doing?
But part of the thing that they capitalized on, this isn't a real movie.
This isn't a real movie.
Something that would have been cool but didn't happen was originally the Tara Reid character was going to be Sarah Michelle Gellar, but she was busy filming Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so couldn't make this commitment. And I was like, damn, that would have been cool.
I was afraid you were going to say she was filming. I know what you did last summer. I was going to
no. But Jennifer Love Hewitt was offered the main role of this, and she said, I don't want to be typecast in these murder movies. Fuck this, I'm out.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
It's like, then they also have Nev Campbell now.
I was gonna say, you just go down the entire list of people.
What is going on? Don't you people have any respect?
During Tara Reid's death, there's a pretty good thing actually that I liked, where you see her like producer person dying in the background as like the power's going out, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But it's just very brief things like that I was like, that's kind of cool, and then back to like nothing.
Speaking of brief things, but on the bad side, they're like one-take wonders here. So like they pull the blanket off of Danielle Harris, like when they're like, it's like in the morning. Oh, is that blood? Let me see. And her eyes like blink, like because she gets like scared, I think, by the blanket opening, and they don't go like, do it again. Like, oh no, we're fine.
You can't reset a blanket, Steph, and think of all the work.
Impossible.
Yes, it got all messy.
Yeah.
Supposedly they sell them on the black market. I don't think it's ever actually happened though. Till tonight.
So all in all, I think if you haven't seen it, watch it. But overall, there's more things that are worth your time.
Yeah, I would say if you saw it and you're like not sure if you remember it, you do.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Jesus! You're trying to get me a heart attack here?
Boo.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion